Welcome to Cedric and Brian Speak Out.
I can't say good morning because we just had a production meeting and I can no longer say that. So, hello.
No, we say that on our other channel. We got to separate our channels, man. We got to rebrand to this channel.
When Brian says separate, he means segregate. That's just a euphemism for segregate. He uses.
So you know what you're going to get on this channel now.
All right, let's get into it. Should we say what we're going to talk about, or we'll say that when we get back and let them know?
Well, there is no getting back, Cedric, because we don't have a theme song for this channel yet. I will work on that because I know you like the theme song. Did you like my outro song, though, last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Just want to make sure. We did have a comment on that.
I'm thinking, well, and we'll get serious in a second. Actually, we won't. I'm thinking Michael Jackson's Black and White.
Yeah, we can't use that type of music, Cedric. It's all copyright. It's copyrighted. Okay, so I'll come up with something.
So I guess Ebony and Ivory is out of the question.
Yeah, it's out of the question. We'll come up with our own version.
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to talk about today is this person that you need to remember her name, Cedric. Remember her name. Her name is... I'm assuming it's Sade because it's spelled like the singer Sade.
I think it's Sade.
Sade Perkins. And we want you to remember her name because she should never get a job in public service again.
Why is that?
I don't know. We'll talk about that, Cedric. And there's another person, too. It's not just Sade, who happens to be a black woman, but there's also a white woman and others that made some other horrible, horrible statements. But let's let them listen to this person first, because this isn't even as bad as the other woman. But we're going to let this play through, and then we're going to react to this.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right. You ain't getting in. You ain't going. Wow. Period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a and all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada yada yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East damn Texas and to make a all-white enclave exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all whites only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
All right. Should we hit him with...
I haven't said this in a long time, but that is a damn
shame. So just to give some context before Cedric, because I know Cedric's going to speak on this. Camp Mystic was founded in 1926. It's a private, non-denominational Christian girls' camp. Nowhere in the charter does it say that it is a white only. For one, that is illegal. So for her to say it is just talk about mis or disinformation. The fact that there's not a token, as she calls it, what does that mean? What does that mean, Cedric? Just if you happen to have no other races, then that automatically means it's white only. There's nothing. I searched everywhere. There's nothing that says that they discriminate based on race or color or anything. That's ridiculous. And she said, if you ain't white, you ain't going. There's nowhere in the charge to say it. So she's making a lot of assumptions just because it happens to be that I don't even know that all the girls were white, whether they are or not. I'm sure there's plenty of camps out there from other areas that might be all black or maybe all Hispanic. So I'm just going to leave that at that because I need to fact check her. Remember, her name is Sade Perkins. So remember that name. If she's ever in the public position again, she needs to be ousted.
Agreed. I want to touch on a few things real quick. Again, like Brian, I wasn't sure how to pronounce this woman's name, but just remember it's spelled Sade. Like a lot of other podcasts out there, Brian and I are very intentional about using the names of killers because they shouldn't be given that attention. But in this case, this is much deserved that everyone knows who she is. Just to understand that this is one individual, it doesn't represent the entire city of Houston. Mayor John Whitmore condemned her comments as deeply inappropriate and confirmed she would not be reappointed to the board when her term expired in January 2025. So, in short, there are consequences. Should we talk? Should we talk about this? This goes back to the whole Doge thing, and then I'll let Cedric continue. She was a member of what was called the Food Insecurity Board. The Food Insecurity Board, Cedric. That sounds like something the Doge should get rid of anyway. I don't know. That's just me. Absolutely. It's probably saying that people are being racially singled out because they choose to eat at McDonald's or the fast food places, and that's racist. But when you make a choice where to spend your consumer dollars, that's on you. I want to touch on something real quick. I'm going to go through it real fast because it may be offensive to some people. If it is, I don't care. Coming from a biblical worldview perspective, whether you believe in the Bible or you don't, I don't really care. There are some biblical truths in there that whether you're Christian or whether you're not, if you apply them to your life, you'll have a much better life. And Jesus himself said, and again, I don't care if you believe in Jesus or not, just see him as a historical figure. I'll go through 3 quick verses. Matthew 5:44, but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. It doesn't sound like Ms. Perkins was praying for the young children who were lost. It says in John 13:34, a new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. The comments that she made, Brian, didn't sound very loving. And finally, in Luke 6:31, do to others as you would have them do to you. Brian and I always have a litmus test if things are racist or not. And one of the things that we always say is that if you flip the narrative around and switch the colors around and say the exact same thing, what type of response are you going to get? I don't know, Brian remembers now, we did a short video late in 23, early 24. I'm sure you guys are all aware of the Amber Alert. And Brian, remember the Amber Alert is what we have out here when a young child goes missing. The marquees on the freeway, they show the license plate, make of the car, color of the car. And it's an Amber Alert designed for young children who are missing. Well, that wasn't good enough for a lot of people. So we created,
I can't remember that name, but I remember the story.
It was the Ebony Alert. And what was the Ebony Alert for? The Ebony Alert was specifically for children of color. Because me being a black male, if I'm driving on the freeway and I see an Amber Alert for a young white girl,
wait, Cedric. Hold on, Cedric.
I'm not going to pay attention to that.
An Amber Alert wasn't for white people. It was for all people. You couldn't make the assumption.
Okay, Brian's right. But the narrative was that the Amber Alert was geared toward white people only. That was the narrative. That's why the Ebony Alert was created. So again, as I was saying, if I'm driving down the freeway and I see an Amber Alert, I'm going to put my hands up and say, can't be worried about that. That person not my kind. What does it say? All skin folk aren't kin folk or something silly like that. So they said, we make an Ebony Alert of course I'm going to stop my car and go on a search for this person because obviously Black Lives Matter. Oh, I can't believe I just said that. Jeez, I haven't said that in a long time.
The irony of it is that it's exactly the opposite. The Ebony Alert was a segregated app. It was specifically for non-white people, whereas the Amber Alert, and I don't know if Cedric's noticed it, but almost in Corona, California, most of the Amber Alerts were not white people anyway. Corona is a highly Hispanic area. A lot of Hispanic people there. I'm sure wherever you are in your location, the predominant culture that's there would probably show up on the Amber Alert at a higher percentage just due to the proximity to that city. So the fact that they even made an Ebony Alert was just silly, and it was just piling on to the whole 2020 Summer of Love, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd stuff just to segregate people. They did more to segregate people at that time, and this lady, Sade Perkins, is doing the same thing, and she said, what did she say? Well, they're supposed to be Hispanic there anyways because they're in that part of Texas. I guess she's assuming that, like a lot of these people, it's supposed to be Mexicans there. So it should have been Mexicans that drowned is like her stupid point. And that we wouldn't care because we're deporting. We don't deport Mexicans, lady. We deport illegals. Okay? So are you assuming that all Mexicans are illegal or that all illegals are Mexican? That sounds pretty racist on you. I'm just saying.
Yes. And I'm going to touch on some things really quick. And Brian touched on a great point, especially when it comes to the far left. They do a great job, as I was teasing in the intro about Brian, about segregating us. But by thinking that they're doing a benefit to people of color, to BIPOCs. Here's some great examples. We're coming up. What's today, Brian? It's July 10th? In 3 more days, it's the 1-year anniversary where that crackpot took a shot at President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Do you guys remember that? 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He had an AR-style rifle, and he was the sickening part, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, that people were upset that he missed, that he didn't finish the job. I saw so many TikToks about that. It's like, if we were to reverse that and people were to cheer, which I wouldn't, if Kamala Harris was shot at or someone on the far left, there would be a lot of outrage. But they thought that was okay. We also remember President Trump's, not the State of the Union, but when he was talking to Congress, we had a young 13-year-old boy named DJ. Do you guys remember the young black kid who had brain cancer? And President Trump addressed Congress on March 4th, 2025. And young DJ had been sworn in by over 900 law enforcement agencies, and he was an honorary U.S. Secret Service agent. That is a huge thing for any young kid, nonetheless, a young kid who's suffering with brain cancer. And if you guys remember, the Democrats who were there decided to look down, hold up papers like they're looking at someone else. You couldn't give that boy a hand of applause and say, congratulations, young man, your TDS was so out of pocket, out of line, that you couldn't even give that young man the props that he deserved. And let's not forget young Laken Riley. I just saw this and I have to look at it real quick on my phone, Brian. I couldn't believe this as I was trying to do some research. And I said, this is just sickening how the left is just anything. It came on the New York Post today, and it says, Laken Riley's killer caught a major court win. Listen to the narrative, Brian. Caught a major court win when a judge ruled that illegal immigrants should be mentally evaluated, and his lawyers claimed he wasn't competent to stand trial last year. The New York Post is clapping, saying, yay, he got a win. This illegal immigrant who shouldn't have been over here, who murdered a young lady who was out jogging, got a win, and we should cheer that.
Well, I don't think, if it's the New York Post, they definitely are not applauding it. They're probably pointing out the hypocrisy, because the New York Post is one of the few outlets that actually reports on things that may lean right. So getting back...
But the fact that they put that as a win, that was just weird.
Let's get back to this Houston tragedy that happened, because I'm going to put this up on the screen now. So just to show you, we're not just picking on this Sade person because she's black. This person is even more disgusting, in my opinion. This is a doctor. This is a pediatrician, somebody who treats children. Now, here's what this pediatrician said. Houston pediatrician Dr. Christina Propst has been fired, thank goodness, after posting that the 80 plus, which is now over 100, Texas flood victims, including children, were Trump supporters who got what they voted for, prompting backlash and a swift termination by Bluefish Pediatrics. I mean, if this, you guys can fact check me on this, but I got this from here. And then there was another person that piled onto it that said, may all visitors' children, non-MAGA voters, and pets be safe and dry. I mean, it's disgusting. And then they're blaming, of course, you know the narrative, they're blaming Trump for cutting back on the FEMA people, which is ridiculous. And then here's others. This tells you the difference that Cedric was talking about between the left and the right. There's been tragedies on the left. We don't go and we say we hope that only the people on the left are affected. It's just ridiculous. So this one, Mrs. Butters, when she found out about this, said, Rutrow, Texas, what you gonna do? There's no FEMA to pick you up by your bootstraps. They gave it all to ICE. I mean, they're taking this tragedy and then turning it into some political garbage. It's ridiculous. And I know it happens both ways, but not to this extent. It's just disgusting. And we've seen this happen before, not only with the Trump shooting, but we saw this happen with Rush Limbaugh, how people were happy that he had cancer and then happy that he died. It's pretty disgusting. This person right here, Samuel, Samurai Barbie, cry harder, Texas deserves it. I mean, this is disgusting. These are human beings. These are people that claim to be in the human race, and they just it truly is disgusting. Right, left, middle, doesn't matter. These people are sick, and it's a shame that we're raising people because of this culture of bipartisanship and the Trump derangement syndrome, that people have lost their humanity. So,
yeah, it's a damn shame.
Damn shame.
Shame. Brian's going to yell at me because for those of you who just saw me 45 seconds ago, I moved my microphone into place. It was on, Brian, but it wasn't right under my chin. So
that's just more shit I'm going to have to deal with now on post.
Don't fire me from Cedric and Brian. We should wrap up here. I'm just going to give 2 points here really quick. At this time, I will agree with one thing that Ms. Perkins said. We must rise above inflammatory rhetoric that divides us. And I'm talking to people on both sides. As Brian said, the right, left, middle, Greenpeace, whatever party you affiliate with, we have to rise above inflammatory rhetoric. There were lives lost, and nothing pains me more than young lives, young, innocent lives. I don't look at the color, whether they're white or brown or whatever color they are. We lost some children. Parents dropped their kids off at that camp thinking they were going to come back and pick them up a week later, are now facing the heart killing thing of their young child is gone. And number 2, tragedy is not a time for division. It's a time for compassion and action. Let's remember that as a whole. It's a terrible tragedy. Those young kids didn't do anything to deserve what happened to them. It just happened. We lost Brian along the way a little bit. He apologizes for that, but we're going to wrap up here. So make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and continue sharing our channel with everyone you know from California to Tennessee and all around the world. And remember to always be the bigger person and show love. Until next time, this is Cedric, sign off for Cedric and Brian. Speak out. We'll see you next time.